The Chiefs completely gave up on their run game and focused on passing, which got them multiple scores against the Browns. But Mahomes kept taking hit after hit and eventually got injured after throwing the ball nearly 40 times. In today's video, I'll explain why this strategy confused so many people. I'll also share key takeaways from the game, an update on Mahomes' ankle, and some big roster news, like a veteran running back being cut, possibly to make space for Hollywood Brown. Now let's dive into this strange game against the Cleveland Browns. The defense was incredible, dominating throughout. The offense, on the other hand, had its moments but left everyone scratching their heads overall. Joe Thuney stepped in at left tackle while Mike Sendo played left guard because DJ Humphries was out with a hamstring injury. The Chiefs didn't trust Wanya Morris to handle left tackle, so Thuney and Sendo got the job done pretty well overall. Thuney wasn't flawless, giving up 10 pressures and 2 QB hits, leading the team in those stats. But when it mattered, Mahomes had more time to throw, especially from the left side. On the other hand, Sendo deserves credit. He allowed 0 pressures and had the highest pass blocking grade on the line. This was his first ever career start. If he keeps improving, Sendo might be a future option at guard if the team can't keep both Joe Thuney and Trey Smith. Now, onto the game itself. The Browns won the coin toss and deferred. On the Chiefs' very first play, Travis Kelce got hurt after crashing into the chain gang's first down marker, but luckily came back a few plays later. Kansas City started with a 3-and-out, something we saw a lot in this game, but on the opening punt, Christian Roland Wallace knocked the ball loose, and Samaje Perine recovered it, giving the offense amazing field position. 3 quick plays later, Juju Smith-Schuster caught a short pass in motion and dove like Superman for the first touchdown of the game. What a play! The Browns quarterback, Jameis Winston, was sacked 5 times but nearly got sacked 6. A penalty saved him on their opening drive. However, George Karlaftis chased him down from behind on the next drive, forcing their first punt. From there, Kareem Hunt had a solid 12-yard run on his first carry. He seemed pumped to play against his old team. Later, on a 3rd and 4, Mahomes threw deep to Justin Watson in double coverage, which wasn't even close. Another punt. Many pointed out that Xavier Worthy was open on a short crossing route, which could have kept the drive alive. Mahomes missed on a key pass early, while Jerry Jeudy made a big play for the Browns, converting a 3rd and 10 for 17 yards with Joshua Williams trailing behind. Jeudy followed that up with another 13-yard catch, but Jameis Winston made a bad decision, throwing into double coverage in the end zone. Safety Brian Cook capitalized, grabbing the game's first interception. The Chiefs' offense struggled to find rhythm after that. Mahomes missed Kelce on what could have been a big play, forcing another punt. Both teams then went into a punting spree with 4 straight 3-and-outs. George Karlaftis got another sack on Winston during this stretch, while Mahomes had some shaky moments, including a near interception by Myles Garrett on a failed screen pass. By this point, early in the second quarter, the game already had 7 punts. Finally, the Chiefs gained some momentum. Kelce started catching passes and Kareem Hunt powered his way to midfield. A contested catch by Deon Cain helped, and Mahomes scrambled for a crucial first down on 3rd and 10. He then found a wide-open Noah Gray in the end zone after getting plenty of time in the pocket, thanks in part to Myles Garrett leaving the play due to an eye injury. Joe Thuney accidentally poked Garrett in the eye, and it was clear Garrett was shaken, though he later returned. The touchdown put the Chiefs up 14-0. The defense kept making plays, with Trent McDuffie breaking up a big pass. But the game turned scary when Shamari Connor took a knee to the side of the head while tackling Nick Chubb. Connor was knocked out and had to be helped off the field. He didn't return and is now in concussion protocol, leaving his status uncertain for the upcoming game against the Texans. After Connor's exit, the Chiefs rotated several defensive backs, with Jaden Hicks getting slightly more snaps than Brian Cook. Najee Johnson nearly intercepted Winston on a fourth down play, but wisely let it drop, giving the Chiefs better field position on the turnover on downs. Kansas City's offense showed more life on the next drive. A perfectly executed screen pass gained 23 yards, and a pop pass to Xavier Worthy brought them near the Browns' 10-yard line. But on 3rd and 1, Hunt got stopped in the backfield. The Chiefs decided to go for a short 29-yard field goal, but Harrison Butker missed. There seemed to be confusion before the kick, as the team initially considered going for it during a timeout. Harrison Butker, usually so reliable, missed the short field goal, shanking it to the left. This was surprising, especially since he had just been activated from injured reserve the day before. While he made all 3 of his extra points, this miss was rare for a kicker as consistent as Butker. For the second week in a row, safety Justin Reed handled kickoff duties since the team is easing Butker back into action. Reed did a solid job, and having him on kickoffs even gave the Chiefs an extra tackler on special teams, which proved useful in the second half. Now, before I dive into Mahomes' ankle injury, the strange second half, and how the Chiefs are preparing for their upcoming game against the Texans, where they're surprisingly underdogs, I want to tell you about a product that's made a huge difference in my life. Bear Mattress. If you're looking for a premium mattress that improves your sleep, enhances your daily energy, and gets shipped right to your door for free, Bear Mattress is the way to go. They're the longest running sponsor of this channel and currently have amazing end-of-year sales. My wife and I have been using a Bear mattress for over 2 years, and it's been fantastic for my lower back. We loved it so much we even got a Bear Cub mattress for our youngest daughter, and she sleeps like she's hibernating. Bear understands that everyone sleeps differently, so they offer an online quiz to find the perfect match for you. For example, I sleep on my back and prefer a medium firm mattress, while my wife sleeps on her stomach and prefers something firmer. The quiz paired us with the Elite Hybrid mattress, which has been amazing for both of us. The mattresses ship free in the US, come neatly packed in a box, and are super easy to set up. If you're a hot sleeper like me, Bear's mattresses include cooling technology made with Celliant-powered fabric, keeping you cool all night. Plus, they're safe, no harmful fiberglass, and they're certified for your health and the environment. Bear also offers a lifetime warranty and flexible payment plans, so it's risk-free. You even get a 120-night trial to make sure it's right for you. If you're ready to upgrade your sleep, go to bearmattress.com/HBTC for 35% off your order for a limited time. Now, back to the game. The second half started with a bang as Cleveland turned the ball over on their first 2 plays. On the very first play of the third quarter, Jameis Winston threw an interception. It was a strange one. The ball bounced off Nick Chubb's hands before being picked off. Nick Bolton made an incredible play, wrestling the ball away from Nick Chubb as they hit the ground, securing the 3rd turnover of the game for Cleveland. This was just the beginning of the chaos to come. Shortly after, Xavier Worthy made an impressive catch on a scrambling play by Patrick Mahomes. Kareem Hunt kept the drive alive, and then Worthy caught what looked like a quick pass on the left side. He bolted 21 yards for a touchdown, but because it was technically a backward pass, it counted as a rushing touchdown. Either way, this gave Kansas City a commanding 21-0 lead, their largest of the season so far. Unfortunately, not everything went well in the second half. Nick Chubb, the Brown star running back, pulled up limping during a play and didn't return. It was later revealed he broke a bone in his foot, ending his season. It's a tough blow for a player who's already overcome so many injuries, including a gruesome knee injury just last year. Before leaving the game, Chubb fumbled on Cleveland's second offensive play of the half. Leo Chenal perfectly punched the ball out, and Drew Tranquill recovered it, marking 2 turnovers for Cleveland in just 2 plays. On Kansas City's next drive, DeAndre Hopkins almost made a highlight reel catch deep down the left sideline. The ball barely scraped the ground, popped into the air, and Hopkins reeled it in, but the Chiefs challenged the call and lost because the ball had indeed touched the turf. Cleveland's next drive featured some solid catches by Jerry Jeudy, but Charles Omenihu made a big play, chopping the ball out of Jameis Winston's hands like a karate master. Although the Browns recovered, they lost 10 yards and had to punt. Kansas City punted the ball right back, but Matt Araiza's punt was a disappointing 30-yarder that took an unlucky bounce. Thankfully, the Chiefs' defense stepped up again. Turk Wharton sacked Winston on a 2nd and 23 play, thanks to Chris Jones blowing up the pocket. However, on the very next play, Jerome Ford ran 62 yards for a touchdown, the biggest rushing play the Chiefs' defense has allowed this season. Ford's speed took him up the right sideline, with Jerry Jeudy making a key block and Roland Wallace unable to close the angle. That made the score 21-7, but Kansas City was still up by 2 touchdowns. This is where things started to get frustrating. Despite their lead, the Chiefs' offense stalled. Across 4 drives, they ran just 15 plays for a total of 10 yards. Even more puzzling, they only ran the ball 3 times during this stretch, with Mahomes throwing 8 straight incompletions at one point. Andy Reid later said the run game wasn't working, but it was still surprising to see so few rushing attempts. The Chiefs ran into 2 big problems with their all-pass strategy. First, it didn't eat up any time on the clock, which is what you want to do when you're ahead in the second half. Second, Mahomes faced constant pressure and was taking some serious hits. On one particular 3-and-out, he got leveled on back-to-back plays, taking a hard hit on 3rd down and getting up slowly. Before Mahomes' eventual injury, Cleveland started to find some rhythm on offense after another Chiefs punt. A 26-yard screen pass set them up nicely, but Trent McDuffie saved the day. He intercepted Jameis Winston in the end zone, making an incredible play for his first career NFL interception. The crazy part? McDuffie admitted he noticed on the Jumbotron that Winston was targeting his direction, so he turned around just in time to snag the ball. That pick was enough to get Winston benched, as Dorian Thompson-Robinson replaced him on the next drive. The Chiefs' offense finally found a bit of momentum. DeAndre Hopkins made a clutch grab on 3rd and 3, and Mahomes scrambled and hit Noah Gray for 15 yards on another 3rd down. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert on a 3rd and 3 later in the drive, and Andy Reid decided to go for it on 4th down. He believed the play they had drawn up would keep the clock running, with only 8 minutes left in the game. On the play, Mahomes stepped up in the pocket and tried to hit Juju Smith-Schuster, but got hit awkwardly. A Browns defender launched at Mahomes' helmet, and he folded awkwardly, coming up limping with what looked like an ankle injury. Trainers taped him up on the sideline, but he didn't return. After Cleveland failed to convert on their next drive due to a penalty negating a 1st down, Carson Wentz came in to finish the game for the Chiefs. Wentz's first drive moved the ball 24 yards over 6 plays, but Matt Araiza punted for the 9th time, a rare stat for a Chiefs punter. Dorian Thompson-Robinson tried to spark a late comeback for the Browns, but overthrew his target, allowing rookie safety Jaden Hicks to grab an interception and seal the win for Kansas City. Key takeaways. While the Chiefs finally won a game by more than 1 score, the spotlight shifted to Mahomes' ankle injury. The victory pushed Kansas City to 13-1 for the season, but Mahomes' health remains the biggest concern moving forward. Let's start by giving major credit to the Chiefs' defense. They held the Browns to just 7 points, the lowest total of their season. Coming into this game, Cleveland had been averaging 21 points per game over the past 4 weeks. The Chiefs' defense dominated across the board. They intercepted Jameis Winston 3 times and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, once after Winston was benched. They sacked Winston 5 times, forced a fumble from Nick Chubb, and nearly got another fumble on an Aminu strip sack. Add in the special teams forced fumble by Roland Wallace, and the Chiefs totaled 6 takeaways. The Browns managed just 4 of 12 on third downs and never even reached the red zone. Other than Jerome Ford's 62-yard touchdown run, the defense completely shut them down. Carlos Dunlap had 2 sacks, and the defense pressured the Browns quarterbacks on an incredible 56.1% of their dropbacks, the highest pressure rate of the season for Kansas City. Even after losing Shamari Connor to a concussion, the defense adjusted well and stayed dominant. Now, on to the offense. Patrick Mahomes went 19 for 38, throwing for just 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's surprising that despite leading most of the game, Mahomes still had to throw 38 times. While Joe Thuney and Nick Allegretti played well, Mahomes faced constant pressure with a 54% pressure rate, the highest since 2020. He was pressured 25 times and hit 11 times, though he wasn't sacked. Still, the hits added up, and Mahomes ended up banged up. The run game being mostly abandoned was frustrating. The Chiefs ran just 6 running plays out of 22 snaps while up by 2 scores, 21 or 14 points. At one point, Mahomes threw 8 straight incompletions. Andy Reid admitted after the game that he could do better with play calling, especially in the third quarter. While he said the run game wasn't working at times, leaning so heavily on Mahomes when he was already under heavy pressure was a risky move. It was also frustrating that the offense couldn't capitalize on all the takeaways by the defense. The Chiefs had 15 drives in the game, but only scored on 3 of them. Harrison Butker missed an easy field goal on 1 drive, but even so, the offense left points on the table. For example, they settled for a field goal instead of going for it on 4th and 1 within the Browns' 10-yard line. On top of that, Matt Araiza punted 9 times compared to his usual average of 3 punts per game. 6 of the Chiefs' offensive drives were 3-and-outs, a rare stat for what's normally an elite offense. On third downs, where they usually shine as the league's best, the Chiefs converted just 7 of 18 in this game. There's definitely room for improvement as the Chiefs head into the final stretch of the regular season before the playoffs. On the bright side, Hollywood Brown is expected to return either this week or next, and DJ Humphries could also be back if his hamstring heals. However, even with Hollywood's return, Mahomes still seems hesitant throwing deep passes. He missed several deep throws in this game, which could be due to a few reasons. Constant pressure. Mahomes might feel uncomfortable in the pocket after getting hit so often. Timing issues. He might not be on the same page with his receivers. Play development. He may not have enough time for deep plays to unfold. Throw accuracy. Some say his mechanics look off. Whatever the cause, the deep ball has been almost non-existent for Kansas City. The last successful deep pass Mahomes completed was back in Week 4 against the Chargers, a 54-yard throw to Xavier Worthy. Before worrying about fixing the deep ball, Mahomes needs to focus on getting his ankle fully healed. Shoutouts to pass catchers. Despite the struggles, a few receivers had standout performances. Noah Gray scored his 5th touchdown of the season. DeAndre Hopkins continues catching almost everything thrown his way. Xavier Worthy led the team with 6 catches for 46 yards, plus 3 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Worthy is showing real potential and is becoming a rising star. He's just the fifth rookie receiver in NFL history to record 3 or more rushing touchdowns and 3 or more receiving touchdowns in a season. A fantastic achievement. Mahomes' ankle injury. Now let's talk about Mahomes' ankle injury. Initially, the severity wasn't clear. During the post-game interview, Mahomes said he'd know more after the adrenaline wore off. Andy Reid later confirmed that X-rays showed no broken bones, which was great news, but further tests were needed. The injury occurred on his right ankle, which is his plant foot, crucial for a quarterback to drive off when throwing. This is different from the left ankle he tweaked earlier this season against the Raiders, so it's not a re-aggravation. Andy Reid also mentioned that Mahomes wanted to return to the game, but since the Chiefs were up by 14 points late in the fourth quarter, they decided to let Carson Wentz finish. According to Ian Rappaport, follow-up tests confirmed that Mahomes suffered a mild high ankle sprain. He is now considered week to week, and the situation is tricky because the Chiefs have 2 games within a span of just 5 days. The first game is coming up this Saturday. There's definitely room for improvement as the Chiefs head into the final stretch of the regular season before the playoffs. On the bright side, Hollywood Brown is expected to return either this week or next, and DJ Humphries could also be back if his hamstring heals. However, even with Hollywood's return, Mahomes still seems hesitant throwing deep passes. He missed several deep throws in this game, which could be due to a few reasons. Constant pressure. Mahomes might feel uncomfortable in the pocket after getting hit so often. Timing issues. He might not be on the same page with his receivers. Play development. He may not have enough time for deep plays to unfold. Throw accuracy. Some say his mechanics look off. Whatever the cause, the deep ball has been almost non-existent for Kansas City. The last successful deep pass Mahomes completed was back in Week 4 against the Chargers, a 54-yard throw to Xavier Worthy. Before worrying about fixing the deep ball, Mahomes needs to focus on getting his ankle fully healed. Shoutouts to pass catchers. Despite the struggles, a few receivers had standout performances. Noah Gray scored his 5th touchdown of the season. DeAndre Hopkins continues catching almost everything thrown his way. Xavier Worthy led the team with 6 catches for 46 yards, plus 3 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Worthy is showing real potential and is becoming a rising star. He's just the 5th rookie receiver in NFL history to record 3 or more rushing touchdowns and 3 or more receiving touchdowns in a season. A fantastic achievement. Mahomes' ankle injury. Now let's talk about Mahomes' ankle injury. Initially, the severity wasn't clear. During the post-game interview, Mahomes said he'd know more after the adrenaline wore off. Andy Reid later confirmed that X-rays showed no broken bones, which was great news, but further tests were needed. The injury occurred on his right ankle, which is his plant foot, crucial for a quarterback to drive off when throwing. This is different from the left ankle he tweaked earlier this season against the Raiders, so it's not a re-aggravation. Andy Reid also mentioned that Mahomes wanted to return to the game, but since the Chiefs were up by 14 points late in the fourth quarter, they decided to let Carson Wentz finish. According to Ian Rappaport, follow-up tests confirmed that Mahomes suffered a mild high ankle sprain. He is now considered week to week, and the situation is tricky because the Chiefs have 2 games within a span of just 5 days. The first game is coming up this Saturday. The Chiefs are heading into a tough stretch, playing 3 games in just 11 days, including this Saturday against the Texans and Wednesday, Christmas, against the Steelers. With Patrick Mahomes dealing with a mild high ankle sprain, the big question is whether he'll sit out the Texans game to rest for the Steelers matchup. Mahomes' status reports from Ian Rappaport suggest Mahomes' status is week to week. While the injury isn't severe, high ankle sprains can linger and worsen if not properly rested. If it were a normal schedule with more days between games, there likely wouldn't be much debate about him playing. But with the tight timeline, starting Carson Wentz could be a real possibility. Mahomes is determined to play, especially since locking up the no. One seed is crucial for the team. According to Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Chiefs, Mahomes will only sit if the team decides he absolutely cannot play. Securing the top seed would allow the Chiefs to rest key players and ensure they're healthy for the playoffs. Hollywood Brown's return. Another key development is the potential return of wide receiver Hollywood Brown. His practice window to return from injured reserve opened last Friday, and he could be back this week. To make room for him on the roster, the Chiefs made a surprising move, waiving veteran running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH. CEH announced his departure on social media, thanking the Chiefs and fans for supporting him through his NFL journey. The move makes sense given the Chiefs' deep running back room, including Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine, and Carson Steele. CEH hadn't played in months and was mostly inactive, so this was likely a business decision to prioritize Hollywood Brown's return. Final thoughts. While there's hope for Mahomes and Hollywood to play soon, the Chiefs need to be careful not to risk further injuries. Many fans have expressed concerns about Andy Reid's strategy of heavily relying on the pass game, even when leading by multiple scores. Mahomes faced constant pressure and took a lot of hits in the last game, which could have been avoided by running the ball more. What do you think? Should the Chiefs have leaned more on the run game to protect Mahomes? Let me know your thoughts. Until next time, let's go Chiefs. How about those Chiefs?